So welcome everybody. I'm Ross McKeechee. I'm the community director for Arkaya Foundation. I've been apprenticing with Maitreji for 10 years now and helping her to run the Arkaya school. Nice to see some new faces and some familiar faces. And just so you know, this is being recorded and we'll send out the recording to everybody as well afterwards. We're going to do a practice that will be very meditative and we'll be staying in the chairs for the practice, so nothing too physical or intense. And the second half of the session, we will be going over the Arkaya Embodied Expansion Certification, which it's much more than just a yoga teacher training. And we're offering everybody that's here at this session a special discount if you decide you want to join that training that starts November 2nd. It's all online. And we'll give you more details on that after and have time for Q&A and that kind of thing. So I'm happy to introduce those of you who don't know Yogacharini Maitre. She's the founder of Arkaya Foundation. She founded Arkaya back in her home country of India when she was there close to 30 years ago. And she studied formally first at the Shivananda Ashram and then at the Ananda Ashram in Pondicherry under her guru Amma Meenakshi Bhavanani. And that's at the Gitananda Yoga School. So it's a lineage that goes back many, many hundreds of years. And one of the well-known gurus that the sort of where the lineage history starts is with Kambali Swami, and went all the way through, was passed down through the generations. So we're a tantric yoga school, and Maitreji has dedicated her life to that path and practice and study, and has been teaching around the world for many, many years. She's been given formal titles like Yoga Chemal, Yoga Shiromani, so that means like Yoga Expert and Yoga Gem, and Yoga Charini, which is a formal title that means you're like a life guide, one who's qualified to guide others on the life path of yoga and tantra. So she's been a huge blessing in my life, and I know many people's lives, and I'll pass over to her now for our practice. Thank you, Maitreji.
Thank you so much, Ross, and thank you all for being here. Today's topic or focus is going to be on cultivating insight or inner sight, and therefore also increasing our discernment or discrimination, as usually it's called in the yogic language. But discrimination not as to discriminate one person against the other, or or according to color, but have this discernment. So that's why I prefer the word discernment, because discrimination has different meanings in different contexts. So we'll start with a practice of just bringing our awareness to how we're sitting. So I'm sitting on my sofa and I'm sitting cross-legged on it, but you can sit with your feet dangling and feet on the floor as well, depending on whether you're sitting on a chair or not. Then we'll place our hands in the Jyoti Mudra. Jyoti is inner illumination. And place or rest your forearms. If you like to see Ross's whole body, he can pan down, and that's how he's holding the mudra. And for now, this is all we need. So keep your eyes closed and check to see how you're sitting. Do you want to lean back a bit more? So we're going to find our most comfortable sitting position. In Tantra, the idea is to savor our body and savor the senses. So as much as we're cultivating strength and discipline, the idea is not to be a slave driver. And as we discussed in our previous course, Bev was a part of it. There is love, there is compassion, because life is hard enough already. So let's just observe our bodies with compassion, which is called Karuna Sakshi Bhava. Karuna is actionable compassion. Sakshi Bhava is the attitude of witnessing, becoming the witness. So let's just observe our body. From the tips of the toe, gently scan your body. How are your feet, the lower legs, knees, thighs, pelvis, bottom, abdomen, and chest. Lower, mid, upper back. Just a gentle, quick scan. How is your mudra? This Jyoti mudra, Jyoti is inner illumination, and mudra is a mystic or energetic seal. It moves energy in a particular pathway and seals it. So this is a hasta mudra or a hand mudra. We also have mukha mudras or face mudras. And a smile is a face mudra. So have a gentle smile, which also influences your neurology, your energetics. Not just the ancient researchers or yogis said this, but also modern researchers are saying it. That even if we fake smile, we release all the happy hormones, the serotonin is released. So observe your body, the arms all the way up to your shoulders, neck, head. And check to see if your back is straight, body relaxed. Sitting in comfortable seat. And now just observe your breathing. Simply observe the breath. There's nothing more to this. Simply watch the breath as it moves into the nostrils, into the windpipe, into the lungs. When the mind is anchored in the breath, it's anchored in the present moment. And as we become more and more tuned in, as we become better listeners, then we can hear the song of the breath. And the song of the breath is so hum. So usually it's translated as that, but it's the origin, the essence. Aham, I. So I am that. I am the origin. I am your essence. And we're going to practice the Soham breathing routine, pranayama. Pranayama again is much more than breathing. Prana, ayama, conscious expansion of prana or life force, which is done through breathing. So it's even more powerful and subtle than breathing. But we start with breathing. That's a starting point. So let's just breathe in, expanding lower, mid, upper chest, or whatever areas are expanding in the moment. And breathe out through the mouth, lips pouted. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in through the nose. And breathe out through the mouth, lips pouted. Take a moment to absorb all the benefits of this practice, called the Sukha Vastrika. Sukha means comfortable. Vastrika, bellows. So it's very gentle yet mildly heat generating. Like the bellows stokes the fire. Those days, the blacksmith, the ironsmith would use it to stoke the fire. Let's do 3 more of the Sukha Vastrika. The gentle bellows, breathe in, or the comfortable bellows, breathe out through the mouth, lips pouted. Breathe in, Sukha Vastrika, comfortable, pleasant bellows, breathe out. Third time, breathe in. Nice deep, 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 deep breath. And wash out. And just be present to how our bodies are feeling. And now come back to your original breathing rhythm, simply watching the breath as it moves into the nostrils, into the windpipe, and into the lungs. Also being aware of your Jyoti Mudra. Jyoti is light or inner illumination. And mudra is something that moves and seals energy in a particular pathway. So in this mudra, the energy is being sealed or moved for the purpose of inner illumination, for the purpose of light within. So the sounds that we're going to intone internally are, so as we breathe in, so I'll intone it loudly just so that you get a grip of it. Breathing in. So breathing out. So, so, now we'll do it silently. Take a moment for this to integrate. Last 3 rounds, we'll breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Both in and out through the nose. Breathe in through the nose. Intoning so. And breathing out through the nose, intoning hum. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And once again, take a moment to integrate, bringing your awareness to the tips of the fingers, the palms. Some of you may have some sensations, tingling or warmth. Some of you may not feel anything, that's fine too. Now, the next part is we bring our awareness to the point between the eyebrows. This is called the Bru Madhya Bindu. Bru is brow, Madhya is middle. That's why in India there's a place called Madhya Pradesh. It's in the middle of the country. Pradesh is land. It's the middle land situated. It's a state situated approximately in the middle of India. So this is the point, and Bindu is point. So focus on your Bru Madhya Bindu, the point between the eyebrows. And have a gentle focus. Sometimes when you do a hard focus, you may get a little bit of a headache or some uncomfortable sensation. You don't want that. So have a gentle focus. Those of you who have practiced before, you can even penetrate that region with your mind, which means see if you can go deeper, about half-inch into your forehead. That feels a bit too stifling, don't do that. And keeping the awareness on the surface will activate our insight centers. And our gaze through this third eye is fixed inside to cultivate inner sight or insight. We're going to take 3 deep breaths of the Sukha Vastrika, comfortable bellows, pleasant bellows. Breathe in, expand, 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 and breathe out through the mouth, lips pouted. Breathe in, savor your body, savor your breath. Feel a nice sense of relaxation. And breathe out. Breathe in, expand, expand, expand. And breathe out. Now let's bring our awareness to our hearts, the space around our heart. Let's just give gratitude first for the land we walk on. I might just invite Ross to acknowledge the First Nations now. You can acknowledge the First Nations, but also Mother Earth herself. So I will invite him. Our eyes are still closed.
Just taking a moment to acknowledge the ancestral people of the land that we're on. So wherever you are in the world, here where we are, most of us are on Coast Salish territories. Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Cowichan, Shishalt, Snuneymuxw, just naming a few that I know where different people are. And giving gratitude to those first peoples and to this earth, our mother.
Thank you, Ross. And if keeping the eyes closed is uncomfortable, you can have it slightly open. Sometimes if we have the eyes closed for long periods, it can also activate, if we have trauma, the fear response. So that's normal as well, especially if old traumas are coming to the surface. Don't worry, you can keep your gaze looking down. Slightly open eyes is also fine. The idea is not to dissipate too much energy through visual stimuli. Now we could feel grateful for all that we have in this land, a land without war, comfortable, many parts of the world that are going through strife. Thankfully, the war just ended in one part of the world, but there's always something happening. We have running water, we have electricity, we're much to be grateful for. Then we can thank the guides, masters who've supported us, who've come before us, continued this lineage of self-awareness, self-discovery, self-healing. We'll go back to our Soham breathing. Breathe in. So we're breathing out through the nose. Breathe out, hum. Breathe in. So breathe out, hum. Breathe in, so, and hum. And we'll take a moment to absorb that. I am the essence, I am the origin, I am that. Now let's bring our awareness to the root. Your palms are situated approximately around the root. So apart from this mudra or gesture you're holding, your hands gently. Also feel that connection to your root. As we bring our awareness to all these three positions or points, we're activating an embodied insightfulness. And by learning a specific Kriya, the Jyoti Kriya, which we'll do later, we're also going to expand this insight that we have brought into our bodies. It's not just something floating somewhere in the air. It's anchored in our bodies. So we continue to be present to the root. And sometimes for people, it might be difficult to relate to So and Hum because it's Sanskrit. So some teachers also teach it in English. I am pure consciousness as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, you say, I am Brahman, which is the word for consciousness in Sanskrit. Also, Hum in itself has a particular vibration. You can try this as well. Breathe in. I am pure consciousness. Breathe out through the nose. I am Brahman. Breathe in. I am pure consciousness. Breathe out. I am Brahman. I am pure consciousness. Breathing in. Breathe out. I am Brahman. Take a moment here. Then as we go deeper, we breathe in and we tell ourselves, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I am pure consciousness. Let's do that. Breathe in. I am not the body, I'm not the mind. Breathe out. I'm pure consciousness. Breathe in. Not the body, I'm not the mind. Breathe out. I'm pure consciousness. Breathe in. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. Breathe out, I'm pure consciousness. And just stay there. This last part comes from the Vedantic traditions, which is a less embodied aspect in comparison to Tantra, though their ultimate goals are the same. Tantra, we say we want to embody this great cosmic consciousness. We want to work in ways in tandem with this great cosmic consciousness. We're not repressing, we're not negating, we're not projecting, purifying the body so that our thought, words, actions can align. So an alignment of the head, which we brought awareness to, the heart, and the hands. Now let's take one deep breath to anchor all of this in. Breathe in. Expand, expand, expand. A nice whoosh, releasing any overwhelm in your system. Take a moment. And just be present to the chant. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace within, peace without, and peace on all the forces that might act on us. Now gently rub your palms together, place them on the eyes. Once again, soothing the eyes. We've been looking at the computer all day for some of us. Again, telling our eyes that it's good to focus inwards, to cultivate inner sight or insight. And gently relax your palms and return back. Welcome back again. I'm gonna let Ross share about the teacher training, but before that, it'll be nice to have some introductions, or maybe after I let Ross guide that part of the session. And if there's 5 minutes in the end, we might do the Jyoti Kriya, or I'll just invite you to the Saturday session that happens day after morning. And in that, there'll be more of a practice session, meditative session, as well as a session on the mat for those of you who are interested. And you can attend your first session for free, which is going to be from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. this Saturday morning. I'll hand over to Ross, but before that, any questions with the practice? Anything came up? Were you able to sense anything between your fingers? I'm just curious. Yeah, Ross has put it in the chat. Anybody sensed anything between their palms and fingers? Oh, yes, I can see Minal, is it? Yes, please.
Thank you. So I was just I was not able to sit still in the beginning because I had like a busy day at work, and I have just had all those thoughts coming in my mind, everything that happened at work, and I was just very fidgety at first. And so I was yawning a few times because just feeling very relaxed, and I felt I was dozing off as well at times. So yeah, so it was just a very calming, just very peaceful, just that going within, and the guided steps that you gave this just helped to relax and just become calm. And then the chaos that was there in my mind in the beginning just settled after a few minutes. Thank you.
So much, Minal. And that's, we say in yoga, if the mind is agitated, we don't want to cage a wild animal. So sometimes we start off, today we didn't have that much time, so let's all do that. So if you feel restless, then a good way to start off with is through a little bit of movement. So we'll shake the wrists, shoulders, the head, and whoosh out. And then if you sit for a meditation, it becomes, or a meditative practice or a stillness practice, it becomes much easier. So typically that's why we do a lot of movement, not like a hard, aerobic movement, but a very gentle, light, playful movement that'll actually support sitting in meditative postures. Thank you. That was a nice share. Any other shares?
I felt just a slight vibration through my hands that extended through my body a little bit. And at first I was nervous that it was going to make, I've been having some increased anxiety lately. And so I thought, oh, I wonder if that's going to make me feel that way. But it was actually a very relaxed vibration feeling. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. So that's how prana feels like, or life force feels like. So this practice especially is very powerful in generating and moving life force through the body. It's like a pranic bath. And whenever our prana is clogged, then insight doesn't flow through. It doesn't flow through in the body. It's somewhere here, it's fuzzy, hazy. We're not fully able to decipher it. So I'm very happy that you actually felt it, which means you're a very sensitized or sensitive human being, and you have to be careful about your influences. So sometimes we say it's not even your own. It couldn't, I'm just suggesting, I don't know your whole life situation. People who are sensitive or sensitized, they may pick up other people's, nervous system dysregulation and become more anxious. So you have to be careful who you associate with closely. So that's something, I would ask you to be mindful of. Any other thoughts, or I'll hand over to, yes, Anila, please. You're muted, actually. You have to unmute yourself.
There you go. I was just the calmness. I had a very long day too. I worked, I went, I had physio, I'm dealing with the pinched nerve in my neck and stuff like that. It's getting better. But it's just the calmness of like my fingers would disconnect at times, but I'll have to bring it back. Like my thumb and my pinky were disconnecting because I haven't really sat like that ever before. It's just like it's always kind of probably more together like that instead of just touching it. But it was at one point, it was just so calming that I felt like I was dozing off too. So it was just very, very, very peaceful.
Thank you, Anila. Yes, most of the time we're in the sympathetic nervous system. That is the fight, flight, freeze, fawn mode. So what we're also doing in the yogic process is shifting it to the parasympathetic, which is the rest and digest mode. And that's where true healing takes place. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that share. Now I'll hand over to Ross. It's good to have these shares. And if there's more time, we'll come back to sharing. But handing over to Ross about the training that's coming up. Before that, there's also a workshop, in-person workshop that I'll mention that's happening this coming Sunday. That was put out in short notice because some of them said they wanted this yogic healing practices where you do self-healing, and then the next 2 hours, it's a 4-hour workshop from 2 to 6 p.m. So for those of you who are in Vancouver, it's in Georgia Street, downtown, and you work on each other for the next 2 hours. So you partner up, and it'll be very gentle, the touch and non-touch practices for self-healing, which is a very core part of the tantric practices. Again, not tantra as in the West, not the hypersexualized tantra, or the ones you see in Bollywood movies, which is all black magic. This is basically, tan means body. So we're working with the body. That's all it means. And we're honing and transcending the limitations of the body. So yeah, on that note, I'll hand over to Ross.
Thanks, Maitreji. I just posted the link for that yogic healing workshop in the chat. So if anybody wants to check it out, it's going to be a really great session. Um, so yeah, the Arkaya Embodied Expansion Certification. We'll just share a little bit about that, and then if anybody has any questions or shares, we can get to that. Um, it starts on November 2nd. This is our really in-depth training that Maitreji leads. And it's spread out over 2 years for two reasons. One is so that there's much better integration of all of the somatic work, the breath work, the yogic philosophy, the contemplation you do about your life. And so that there's that kind of longer term relationship with the teacher and student, and also with the community of other students that are in the training. And the other reason is so that it fits into everybody's busy schedule. We know how busy everybody is. So it's nicely spaced out so that you can fit it into your schedule. So the kind of through line of the training is on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. And then periodically we have 5 Sundays in a row where there'll be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on a Sunday. So the first Sunday is going to be starting this November 2nd, 2025. And then we'll do 5 Sundays in a row. Then there's a break, and then the next module like that starts in April. I'll go over the schedule in a little more detail, but just so you kind of get a sense of how it's spaced out. There's also 2 home-based retreats, which are really nice, where we get people to set up at home with a retreat style setting. And there's also space in the afternoon. So again, it's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. But for 5 days in a row, we ask people to, as much as they can, trim out the excess activities in their life, cook Ayurvedic food. We give some tips on how to cook healthy Ayurvedic food. We do get deeper into the yogic healing practices. And because it's at home, you're at home in your own space, it's really a great opportunity to go deep into yourself and work through different layers of the unconscious, whether it be trauma or different patterns that you're trying to work through. So there's a lot of deep shadow work that happens through the somatic work, the breath work, the yogic healing work, and the contemplative work. I'm just going to share screen now, and I'll kind of just quickly give an overview just so you all get an understanding. I've put the link to this in the chat already. We're saying we've rebranded it this year to the Embodied Expansion Certification because the feedback we kept getting from students, and it's true, is that it's so much more than just a yoga teacher training. And here in the West, when people hear yoga teacher training, they think like the common 2 to 3 month 200-hour training, which is not what this is. This is much more traditional. So Maitreji has tried to set up a model online that is as close as possible to the Gurukula system in India, where you're actually in a long-term relationship with the teacher and the Sangha, the community. It's 2 years live online, 500 hours. You're also learning to become a holistic coach, healer, trainer, and leader. So there's a lot of different ways that people use this, whether, of course, for all of us, it just starts with our own self-work. And then some people are already therapists or counselors or working in the medical field or working in schools. And there's so much that you can apply from this into those different arenas of life. And we really work with each student to help them apply it in the way that suits what they're doing. You'll be learning to teach authentic, full spectrum, decolonized yoga and tantra. So the approach is much different than a modern sort of fitness oriented teacher training. The pacing and the context and framework for teaching is much different for this kind of practice. I'll keep going down here. There's a whole lot to read, and I'm not going to bore you with reading it. If you're interested, please take time to read over these external proficiencies that you'll gain from the training. That's the things you'll be able to do and achieve once you've done this training. And then down lower, we cover the sort of internal proficiencies that you'll come through with. So understand yourself through the lens of the yogic bodies, the panchakosha, or the 5 bodies. We're multidimensional beings. So we'll learn that intellectually, but we'll also connect to those multidimensional layers that make up the human being. Building emotional resilience, regulating and stabilizing your nervous system. So many different things. I'll let people read through this on their own. I'm not going to just read it all out to you. This is a little bit about the structure, the way the training is presented. So it's all live online. All of the sessions are recorded and all of the study materials go up on our online learning platform through a platform called Teachable. So everything is available there. The recordings of the sessions, the course manual, the Arkaya Foundational sequencing document, all the mantras, so many different things. And you can download all of that and keep it for a lifetime. You have this ongoing mentorship from the senior Arkaya teachers and, of course, Yogacharini Maitreya. You have the direct transmission and connection of the lineage. And we also bring in experts from the various allied Indian arts and sciences to show how all of the Indian life sciences and arts are all built on this foundational worldview and philosophy that springs from the yogic insight. So there's things like Jyotisha or Vedic astrology, Ayurveda, Bharatanatyam, which is the classical Indian dance form, and there's a lot of emotional cathartic practices that come through different expressions, the Navarasa in that. That's just a few examples. We have a lot of wonderful guest teachers that come in. And a special bonus that we're giving this year for people in the training is they get access to all of our other online on-demand courses. So there's things like the emotional resiliency training, the laws of abundance, where we're invoking the Ashtalakshmi, the 8 forms of Lakshmi, practices for the vagus nerve, and things like that. So that's a really nice thing. The breakdown on the tuition, the total tuition in Canadian dollars is $59.40 plus 5% GST. So it comes out around $6,300 for the 2-year program. And we've done our research, and it's actually a very very reasonable price. The average 200-hour training is around $3,000 to $4,000 for like a 2-month thing. And this is, about double the price for much more than double the hours and much more ongoing mentorship and in-depth training. So that's the basic gist. This is the program structure. When you go to this area on the website, you can click on these little plus signs and it drops down and breaks down the whole thing. So the first live segment starts Sunday, November 2nd, and it goes 5 Sundays to December 7th. We always take a break for American Thanksgiving or Canadian Thanksgiving or any other holidays. And then we have a break. The Saturdays are the through line. So the Saturdays from 9 to 11:30, those continue throughout the 2-year period, with the exception of like a winter break for 1 month and a summer break for 1 month in August. The next intensive module is Sunday, April 12th through May 10th. And then we go the first 5-day retreat, which is Friday, May 29th to Tuesday, June 2nd. And then the practicums start, where you're doing a combination of teaching friends and family, teaching in studios, or wherever you find a space to start your practicum teaching, as well as teaching online in the Saturday sessions and teaching other people in your cohort and getting ongoing mentorship and feedback. And then you can also work with one-on-one with people starting to integrate the yogic coaching and healing work. And we also ask people to do a certain amount of seva or selfless service, a bit of volunteering for Arkaya Foundation. And then the next 5 Sundays goes from September 20th to October 25th. And the final, so that's all 2025 November through to October 2026. The second year, 2027, the through line is the Saturday sessions. You'll be working on your practicum, but there's only one intensive module. So 2027 is much lighter time commitment. And that's the final home-based retreat, Friday, September 17th to Tuesday, September 21st. And if you finished all your practicum hours and you've gotten approval from Maitreji, then you'll be celebrating at the end, having received your certificate as a 500-hour Arkaya Embodied Expansion Certified Teacher. So that's the quick rundown. I'm going to give a little space to answer any questions, and then there's just one video testimonial that I'll share from Victoria that's really nice and gives a little bit of a sense of the experience of being in the training. So I'll just open it up for any questions or comments first. Yes, Minal, go ahead, please.
Yes, thank you, Ross, for all the information. So a couple of years ago, I attended a session like the one today. And I had a challenge back then of not being able to join because of the Saturday timing. And that is still my reality, that I have a part-time job that I work in. During the school year, I teach Saturday mornings from 9 to 1 in Surrey. And so I wasn't able to join then for that reason, and that reason is still there. So I'm just wondering, are there any other options for people that are not able to join? So from September to May, I am booked. Apart from the long weekends, I'm not available to join. So yeah, that's my challenge.
Okay. Yeah, that's a difficult one. I mean, if it wasn't every single Saturday, then we would be flexible and say, oh, well, it's recorded and you can join if you're there, for half of the time, then that would work. If you're not able to join for any of them, we might have to have a private conversation and see if there's any workaround. But in general, we would ask people to be there for at least half of them and be there for the recorded for the rest of them. Yeah.
Right, great, thank you. And just another question about the one of the components, the modules that you talked about the practice where you work on or learn how to heal other people or teach other people. That's something like that. That's what you talked about in the modules. And I have a chronic condition. I've had it for several years, and I'm just wondering how effectively would I be able to teach someone with an existing condition that probably will take long to heal itself, because if it's something that I've had for many years, it's not going to go away quickly. So is it still possible to heal or work with other people while you are still healing yourself? You're not completely healed from your condition.
I'll just quickly say yes, absolutely, and I'll pass to Maitreji if she wants to make a more in-depth comment.
Thank you, Ross. And yes, it is possible because perfection is not expected. And I have a lot of people not the most flexible or not the youngest. Every time we actually look at our limitations, and unfortunately, the modern yoga scene seems to, I'm talking about the studio yoga. We have all these fit Lululemon bodies that, it can be intimidating when you see them.
Hi.
But, sorry, who said that? I think somebody.
That was just something that came on my computer. I had
On your computer. Oh, okay. I thought somebody had something to say. Yeah, so I would say, in fact, a lot of people, one of the ladies, she teaches for elders. So it's just chair yoga, you don't even have to teach on the mat. So I believe even if people can sit and do the breathing practices and just let their focus settle inwards and rework their life. So sometimes the illness is due to the stress that maybe a bad relationship or a bad work situation is causing. So the insight helps us see what is the boundary we need to create with the person or the situation, maybe change the job. So these are the aspects that we look at in real yoga, our lifestyle, our eating habits, our emotional habits, our mental habits. So that's where the focus is. The focus is not on perfection. So even if you have, I don't know your health condition, but you're able to work because you have a part-time job. So I'm sure you'll be able to teach this, is my answer.
Thank you.
It'll be nice to know a little bit. I think Tanya had a question. After that, yeah, I'll speak.
Yeah, I think I had a curiosity about the Ayurvedic component to the program, how prevalent it is and how important it is, I guess, to you and to the participants.
Yeah, for me, I look at yoga as a sister science of Ayurveda, and they're very, very interconnected. So if you see the doshas, I don't know, do you have a basic understanding of Ayurveda by any chance?
A basic one, yes.
Okay, so if you look at the elements, this mudra that we did, we're
Mhm.
actually activating the 5 elements. So water, earth, space, air, and fire. And just by bringing consciousness to it, we're rebalancing these elements. And if you look at Ayurveda, Vata, Pitta, Kapha are the doshas. which is a combination of these elements. So if you have the root chakra, that is earth, and the second chakra, you have water. So earth plus water is kapha. And then you have the next to water plus fire is pitta. Then you have air plus space is vata. So the Ayurvedic foundation is also based on these elements. So you'll start seeing the similarities rather than, looking at it as a separate science and saying, yeah, yoga also speaks of lifestyle. Yoga also speaks of herbs, but Ayurveda goes much deeper into it. And that itself is a very specific stream which doctors have mastered by studying for years and years. So we have a Vaidya who comes in, who's a doctor who studied just the Ayurvedic principles, how to treat others. And she will come and talk about all these principles that will support one in having a dinacharya. Dinacharya is just a daily routine. Dina is day, and acharyam is behavior. So when you wake up, what is your daily routine? Maybe a head massage. So simple things that you could do, let's say during the season, what oils to use. Let's say you're feeling dry and you're feeling, like joints are cracking. Then we not only do the yogic practice, but we can take the support of simple herbs, nothing complicated, or simple oils to oleate, to get the toxicity moving. So all those things I felt or I feel they're very, very invaluable because I grew up with that. My grandmother was, her grandmother was an Ayurvedic doctor, and she was very knowledgeable about it. And so she healed me of a lot of things just using simple kitchen herbs. Like I remember I used to have a lot of hives as a kid, and my mother actually was more Western educated because we were colonized. So they called it the English medicine. They in India, I grew up in India. So they said, oh, the English medicine is better than all this, like, folk medicine. They call it folk medicine, Ayurveda. So, and they took me to doctor after doctor, prodding, poking, and, they found the allergy, but again, that's a long story. So coming back, I go to my grandparents for my summer holidays. My grandmother is like, oh, this is a pitta imbalance. She just gives me neem, turmeric, a little bit of pepper every morning for 40 days, and bam, I'm healed of those hives. So, and of course, she also kept me away from my dysfunctional parents. So that too. so, a combination of both, was, I think, just healed me in 40 days. So there's so many simple things that we can do that'll actually, support us. And Ayurveda teaches us that. So for me, I think they both go hand in hand. I don't see them as separate. And like I said, I grew up with that. And unfortunately, the newer generations, that's starting my mother's generation, we started undervaluing our own culture because of colonization. We've been taught it's not good. It's, it's, but it's got a really deep and very, very, I would say, in-depth science behind it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Now it's coming back, one full circle with the turmeric lattes and the beetroot lattes and all of that, the coconut milk and moringa. I grew up with a moringa tree in my backyard. Our grandmothers used to tell us, like, eat. Shamim is like shaking her head. Are you from India, Shamim? Oh, you're muted.
Yes, my mother was born in Porbandar, India, and my father was born in East Africa, Uganda. I was born in East Africa. But it's very, 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 very humbling and grateful being in your presence, being in your energy. It's touching my soul. Thank you very, very much for today and the last practice as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shamim, for being here.
Thank you. Namaste.
And do you all live in Vancouver? I'm just curious. Maybe you can just have a short intro in terms of just a little bit about what you do, those who haven't spoken.
Mm-hmm.
I think Shamim has unmuted herself. Maybe we'll start with you.
With Shamim?
Yes.
Shamim has done her 200-hour yoga in Nicaragua, and she has done her 500-hour in Rishikesh, India.
Wonderful.
She's written a book to help people develop their self-worth. It's called it's called Geniuses of Light. And we are focusing on 12 beautiful principles to build self-worth, to rinse out toxins. And I've been working on sharing, as I healed my own life trauma. I went through these programs in Africa. I worked with sexually abused women. In Tajikistan, I worked with orphans. And then I came home and I sat down and I said, wow, I'm still a mess. So I started writing down all the principles that would help us build our self-worth and transform anger into peace. And I've made voice-guided meditations and chakra meditations to help people write journals. And so that's been my focus. And as I retire, definitely your program is 100%, and your energy is so appealing to me right now. And God's, Namas Prana Grace, inshallah, I will be with you inshallah. I'm trying my best to figure it out financially.
Thanks, Shelley.
Thank you.
Who would like to share next?
It's me, Anila. So I am actually live in Chilliwack, so I'm not in Vancouver. I am I've worked with children for the last 37 years since I've moved to Canada. I grew up in Fiji Islands, and also I just finished my level 2 conscious connected breath work facilitator. So I just finished that, and I took a year off work to help my daughter. She had twins and she had 2 other children, and so I'm just going back to work. I have 4 more years left to retire. So this is very, very my heart is drawn to it very much. So my ancestry comes from India. So I'm 5th generation born and raised in Fiji Islands. And so don't know if you remember, there were people left Fiji, from India to go, and all the colonizing was happening. So my ancestry has come through that colonization in Fiji Islands. And so they were called the Gurmit people. So if you do the history, you will find out. So that was the first group that they came to settle Fiji, and a lot of trauma has shown up through breath work that has, healing has worked for me, and I'm still in the process. So I have been meaning to look deeper into this, but life was just a little busy for last year, and so I'm coming back. And my friend Julio's is very much so a support for me, and he actually has helped me through a lot of stuff. And so he invited me today to come, and I'm very grateful that I was able to come and be part of this. So thank you so much.
Thank you. There's Del 1. I don't know who that is, or if she's not ready. Tanya, are you ready, Del 1, to share? Camera zooming in. Which is nice. Not seen that before on Zoom.
We're not sure the actual name of Dell One. It's someone's computer name, I think, but
Yeah.
you just sat up and came forward and put your glasses on. If you want to just introduce yourself, or if you don't, that's okay too.
Oh, hi, I'm Delia. Sorry, I was just I kind of nodded off there, kind of
Oh, that's great. That's good if you don't stop. Your body needed it.
I don't know. Was I supposed to say something?
Oh, nothing. We're just introducing ourselves, where we live, which part of
Okay.
Canada or the world we're from,
Yeah.
and what we're interested in. We'll also send you the recording so you could see the recording about the course and everything. So not to worry if you missed anything.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I'm from Ireland, but I'm living in Vancouver.
Oh, okay, welcome. How long have you been here?
6 years.
Great. And we were asking, people were sharing their work situation, what they work as. So if you want to share a little bit about line of work.
Yeah, I'm just doing a bit of different things like background acting, do some bartending, and brand ambassador.
Thank you. Thank you, Julie. Sorry to wake you up. I didn't realize I was waking up. Maybe Tanya can.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm living on the Sunshine Coast in Half Moon Bay. And
Ross is there.
yeah, I had the privilege of coming to Russ's class a couple of times many years ago. And I've been keeping my eyes on you for a while. I actually ran into you in your live group of teacher training at a vegan festival in Vancouver, probably about 6 or 7 years ago. I'm a licensed optician by trade and have been doing that for 20 years, but have just left that career and yeah, doing some self-healing right now. Like I said, handling some anxiety that came my way. And I thought that the first module of your teacher training, the life, what is it called? I can't remember, but
Foundations for Life.
yeah, the Foundations for Life, I'd like to join for sure. So I plan on, I'm hoping to be able to join for that portion. Is it possible to, does one need to make the commitment right away to the full 2-year program, or could one start with that module and then decide to join after that, or no?
Yes, you could do that. So in fact, if there was more space, we usually encourage people. Let's say they decide 6 months ahead. Now it's close to each other.
Oh, yeah.
But you could still join only the Foundations for Life. It's just that the teacher training or the Embodied Expansion Certification, we do only once in 2 years. So that's
Right.
why this module 1, which is about 60 hours plus, we encourage people to join in advance. That way they don't feel overwhelmed. They're still going through the material. They're getting familiar with, for those, who feel teachable or technology is stifling. There's still, it's in very, very small bite-sized chunks. So yeah, I would say that's a great way to go. If you haven't taken a decision, then you join the module 1, which is pretty comprehensive in itself. And then you can take the decision for the others.
There's enough space in this year's cohort to possibly do that. Okay, thank you.
We'll send you the teacher training, this evening's recordings, just in case some of you dozed off or missed something. Did you doze off, Rodrigo?
Excuse me, what did you say?
Did you doze off?
No, I came home from the street, so I was not very present during the teaching.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm doing some things here, but I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, no problem. Last time you dozed off, that's why I checked. Yeah, so wonderful.
Yeah, I usually do in this class, but not today.
Yeah. That's good. It's good to give the body the rest it needs.
Say a quick hello, just so people don't wonder who I am, why I didn't speak. My name's Sadie. I live on Vancouver Island in unceded Cowichan territory. And yes, I am a student of Maitri's. I was one of the the graduates from the first online training 2022, and still continue to be very actively involved teaching and volunteering. And yeah, I just wanted to say I would highly recommend the program, because it's it's meant so much in my life. I've been teaching for many, many years, even before I met Maitreyi and became part of the Arkaya community. And I just really had wanted to deepen and study more, and also become part of a community and have that sort of like-minded people and support. And I definitely have found all of that. So yeah, I just wanted to share that and say it's been such a gift in so many ways. And for people, I mean, I continue to teach, and but for people who either want to teach, or like Ross was saying, you know, for your own personal practice and growth, or with other practices or work that you do, it's it is such a there's such a depth to it in so many ways. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much, Sadie. Sorry, I forgot to circle back to you. Sadie's also now become part of our core team and has supported us even when Ross and I were in India. She was such a big help and a wonderful teacher as well. So thank you, Sadie. I was just looking at the time and trying, you know, in my head, oh, it's 8:16. So I was kind of being mindful of that, and I missed giving her space. But thank you for doing that. So on that note, I think we'll close, and we typically close with a dhanyavadaha, or thank you to ourselves for making the time, making the effort. And then we thank everybody in front for their presence, their energy, their shares. And then we'll touch the earth and thank the earth, the masters, the first nations people of the land. Thank you so much.